Hi, I'm Linda Lay, and I am going to show you how to make a pop-up card. I thought I'd had colored paper, but I didn't. But you start basically with one kind of base for your card. And since I didn't have colored paper, I chose, I took a piece of paper bag and then I glued some white paper to it. So this is going to be like my initial card structure. I only glued this paper to it because the paper bag was kind of flimsy. You can use a thicker, like cardstock kind of thing, you know, like a poster board, or maybe construction paper. That would work too. So right now I'm just cutting it into the shape of a like rectangle. You can do whatever shape you want. Maybe I'll do a funny shape like I did on an example I shared on Instagram of something I did with my students in 2017. I'm going to make it like a cloud. You could do whatever shape you want. This is going to be uneven though, so my card isn't going to close beautifully. You might want to be a little neater in your construction. So yeah, I'm just do. I got this whimsical cloud-like shape that I'm going to fold in half. Now my card, if I were to actually do this again, I would just fold it and then cut it. Like, maybe I'll do it as an example so that I can share the right way to do things. Okay, so I've got this shape I'm cutting out. All right, now it looks a little more like a card. It opens up like this. I'm gonna want my card to open up like a sandwich in front of me opening up. Okay, so I've got that base part of it. Now, I'm going to need to create a shape that matches my card that I made. So I'm going to use a pencil and trace it around it so that it glues evenly. There's a pencil right here. So I'm going to put my card, you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just putting the card down on paper and I'm going to trace the outline. I'll show you what it looks like in a second. And then I'll cut that out. This is where I should make it a time lapse, but it won't take that long. You know what? I'm going to make it a time lapse for the cutting because that's boring. But you can see that's what I've got there. It's the same shape as my card opened up, the card base. See you in a second. Okay, now I've got my piece that I cut out and I'm going to find my original. And what I'm going to do is line it up. If you use a funny shape like I did, it's a little bit trickier to line up, but if you just make a regular old square or rectangle, it's not as difficult. So I've lined it up and it's right there. Now here is the part, the mechanics of it that I'm going to show you, but then set aside because we have to create something to pop out. Which I haven't done yet. So I've lined it up and it's good enough for me. It seems pretty well lined up. I've got the second paper here. And I'm just going to fold it again so that it creates a crease in the middle. And then I'm going to remove it. I folded it. And this is super simple. I'm going to cut like 2 slits in the middle. Boom and boom. And you could do this with multiple, you'll see in a minute what I'm going to do with this. So now that I've got my slits cut, I'm going to push it out in the middle, still bending it at that point, if that makes sense. So it looks kind of like this. And what I'm doing, then I'm going to fold it. It's a little origami-like, I guess, because that's how it's going to sit in your card. And this is essentially what creates the pop-up. I mean, that's all it is. I learned about it when I was in the 5th grade in a class I took. So then I just placed it in here. It's not glued yet, but that's what's going to hold our pop-up thing. So I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to glue it, and then I'll come back and talk about the thing that I'm going to attach and how I'm going to attach it. All right. Actually, I realized that I need to demonstrate how to glue it. So I'm back. All right, so here is the card, and here is the paper that's going to attach. I'm just going to glue between here and here. I don't want this to have any glue on it. I want it to be mobile and not stuck. So I'm just using, I think a glue stick would work better, but I couldn't find one, so I'm using some tacky glue. And I'm going to put some glue. I think it's safer to glue the thing, the secondary piece instead. I'm running low on glue. I almost used Mod Podge as, as a glue because this one's running so low. You would think that in an art studio I would have glue. Okay, so I'm going to glue this. Okay, so I ended up using some Mod Podge and a brush. I put the glue on this side right here, my top, and then I'm going to just stick it on to the part that matches. And then I'm going to fold it over and I'm going to add some glue. You could see, I'm just going to dip it in my Mod Podge. Boop, boop. Again, I might take a little bit longer if I was doing this outside of the space of a demonstration. Okay, so then I'm going to press it down. And if you care about neat or, you know, whatever, it looks fine. So now, I didn't put any glue inside here. I made sure, that's why I put the glue on the piece of paper that sticks to the base. Because I want to make sure that when I open it, it goes boop, it pops open. And this now leads me to the thing that I'm going to have popping out. It can be anything you want for whatever occasion. I think that I mean, you might want to have even words if you want to take the time to write out happy holidays or happy birthday, or in my case, I think I just want to make a monster because that's what I often do. So I'm gonna time lapse this now. Okay, so what I did was, it's not quite done, but I want to show what I was doing. I decided, since I was using the paper bag material, it would formally be kind of like cute to repeat the look of the paper bag and the the paper bag and the white paper. So I glued white paper onto my little creature here. But what I realized just now as I put this on here is that I made my creature too big. And so it's not going to pop out the way that I want it to. So I'm going to instead improvise. And it's going to be a smaller monster that will fit. Maybe I'll make it a little bit more interesting. Let's see. Maybe I'll make it have hair or something. Let's see. I'm going to attach this little thing, and maybe I'll give it little arms as I was intending to at first. It's going to have two fingers, and I think it might be a cyclops. You could make something more appealing to a person, you know, a flower or something, or a heart. And then I'm going to, I guess I'll get into my markers here. First, let me make sure that it works this time. Okay, so yeah, it works. It's going to work. So it fits within my, and you might not know what I mean yet, but I'll show you once I glue it. I'm going to make an eyeball, mark an eyeball with my paint markers, my acrylic paint markers. And this is really a terrifying card when I think about it. It's not a nice one. But I just want you to understand the whole point of it. Okay, so I made this Cyclops with 2 arms, and I'm going to attach it to one side of my, I have to decide which side I want, probably this one. Okay, I'm gonna glue it now. I'm using Mod Podge because I can't find my glue still. I ran out of the other kind. All right, so I just I glued my little weird thing to that little shelf that I created, and you want it to face outward. I didn't want to glue it up here because then I have to flip it over, I guess. It would still work, so whatever. So now when I close it, it has to dry and stuff. You can press it under a book or something to make it stay, or put it in an envelope. When you open it up, boop, there it is. And I could write something, you know, like, let's see here. It's going to be backwards probably on the screen, but whatever. Let's see. I'll write aha because that works backwards and forward, right? Completely something you would want to have on a holiday card. No exclamation. So when you open it up, aha. So that's how you make a pop-up card. And, you know, you could decorate the top and everything like that. And it could be something more special than what I demonstrated here. But that's how you do it. Super simple, and you can make something really fun.